Hi all, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video today just going over the complete instructions for the troop calculator for calculating stacks against epic monsters. Please keep watching. Okay, with no further ado, I'm going to just go over this in as briefly as possible. I've had quite a few people asking me a couple of questions regarding the numbers that you would put into the troop calculator. So this is the troop calculator here. As you can see, when you get it, it is a fresh copy. That fresh copy, if you make any mistakes in it, you will need to download it again and remove the original copy from your documents, okay? The way to get this, as you can see, there are two ways to get it. One is if you are already a tier member, i.e. a bronze, a silver or a platinum member, you will automatically get a copy of this. All you need to do is reach out for me and I will give you a share file and you will be able to make a copy yourself and you will be able to save it to your hard drive. But I want to just go over a couple of things. So first off, when you get, if you've purchased it, or if I have sent you the link to it because you're already a tier member, you need to basically click on the link that I send you to the document. When you come to the document page, you will see the page like this. It will say Army Composition by Jedi Tuco. Again, hats off to Jedi Tuco. This is a great job and it's a really, really good calculator once you have it set up correctly. As you see, when you click on the link, you will see this is a view-only file. You just need to do one thing, and that is click File and click Make a Copy. When you select that option, you will see here in the name, this is basically highlighted. The reason it's highlighted is you can call this whatever you like, okay? What I would strongly suggest, and is a very good idea to do, you can continuously download this document, okay? And you can make other copies. So in the game, as you well know, you will be doing probably one of two things. You will either be attacking using your hero, okay? Or you will be attacking using a captain, or sometimes three captains, okay? You may be using Cleopatra, you may be using Ada, you may be using Helen. Any of these captains obviously are all applicable to be able to use and to be able to use within this stack option. Beowulf, Skadi, and obviously Hercules there. Pretty much every one of them can be used in this. What you need to do, and what I would suggest you do, is that you save this copy to a name that is pertaining to the hero or the captain that you're using, okay? Now in this case, I am going to use Cleopatra. So all I need to do is have Cleopatra selected. I come back then to the document and I'm going to now type in here Cleopatra, and I'm going to put in her level just so as I remember, because if she does level up, you may need to change some of the stats regarding your troops in this document. Okay, this is where this is important. Every time your hero or captain levels up by more than a couple of levels, or if you change gears to be much stronger armor or use a better artifact or upgrade your artifact and it jumps up a few levels, it's definitely worthwhile refreshing and making a new copy. So in this case, I'm going to call this Cleopatra level 255. That'll do, actually. That'll be enough for me. And then I click Make a Copy. So you then have a copy that is your own, and it will be on your own Google Sheets or Google Drive, depending on where it's saved it to, okay? So that's the easy part. The next part just takes a little bit of calculation and some typing, but it's not hard. The next most important part On this document, down the very bottom, is where you need to put the majority of information regarding your silver troops, i.e. troops that you make with silver. You will have all your specialists and you will have all your guardsmen. These are the important points that you need to put strength and health bonuses into. You need to input them yourself. Don't mind about any numbers that are in here, figures that are in here already. Don't touch them. Don't change anything in the leadership difference, dominance difference, or authority difference. Leave them as they are. Down here, specialist cost bonus for guardsmen and monsters. Again, don't change these. You can leave them as they are. The only other thing that you may want to do is, if you were using this calculator for attacks against the Fenrir squad during Ragnarok, this is where you would put in the strength bonus for Fenrir once you have selected it and it is active. Likewise, if you have any bonus to your troops versus epic monsters, and that usually comes from you using epic gear that again you would create in the Ragnarok store, that is where you will want to put that strength bonus in. And finally, if you're doing any raids and you're using a Manitor and you're joining 3 or 4 or 5 members of your clan in a raid against a Ragnarok, anything else basically that there's a raid of against an epic, that you can send a Manitor to. If there's a bonus for the raid, you need to put that strength bonus in this box. Now, there are a few calculations that you will have to put in into the mercenaries boxes, okay? So you can see here, these are all the mercenaries from row 90 all the way down to row 144, okay? And these are mercenaries that are in the game. These are not accounted for in your leadership. So any of these values down here that you input are only for your silver troops. They are not for the mercenaries. So this is where you will need to do a little bit of work and type in some numbers. I'm going to show you how. It's very simple. So you need to know what mercenaries you're going to use. You will know because obviously you will have purchased them in packs, or you will have got them from the mercenary exchange. And once you have them, all you need to do is know that you're selecting the right ones, i.e. if you got Swift Marksmen level 5, you will want to select them, and that's the figures that you will need to put in. You'll need to get their strength bonus and their health bonus. How do you do that, you may ask? I'll show you now. In my case, okay, I'm going to show you on the top mercs, the mercs that you can get when you have guardsmen level 6, and they're the ones I'm going to work with now, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to input these details. So let me just switch back over to my main screen, and I'll go over one last thing that you need to do, and this is a must to do for this calculator. You need to remove all the gear from your hero. Your hero must be naked, i.e. he doesn't have any gear in his panels, okay? These cannot be here because they will adversely affect the bonuses that are attributed to your troops. We don't want that because the hero is not the one I'm going to be doing the attacking with. In this case, it will be the captain. The captain needs to have all their gear on, any gems or enchantments that you want to use during these attacks, make sure they are in place before you put the troop details in. The artifact also needs to be in place before you do these calculations. If for some reason you level her up, so at the minute Cleopatra's level 255, if after 10 attacks she's gone up to level 260 or 258 and she's jumped by 2 or 3 levels, or if I've put better gear on her, better armor, or I've boosted my artifact, I then need to make another adjustment to the troops, okay? So to confirm, no gear on your hero at all. You can't remove him from the panel, so that's fine. Once he has no gear on, he won't affect anything. You want the captain you're going to use with full gear, an artifact that you're going to go into battle with, and the other 2 windows you do not want to put any captains in. Leave those blank. All right. Once we've done that, we now need to have a look at the mercenaries that we're going to use in these attacks, and we need to put their details into the sheet. So The first one we're going to do, I'm going to come in here and open the sheet up again. I need to get the strength and health values of the demonic salamander, okay? The strength value and the health value. I do not need to select that yet. I'm going to select it later, but I want to put the values in first and get all these values filled in. I mean, if it's a case you don't have, let's say you did have these mercenaries, and let's just say you only had the Cannoneers, the Wyvern, maybe the Slavic warriors and the Highlanders, and you didn't have any of the other ones. That's okay, but I would still strongly suggest that you fill all these in where possible when you do eventually get these units, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to the demonic salamander and I'm going to look for the strength and the health bonuses. So let me just switch back to the main window and I'm going to click on my mercenaries here and we're going to look for the demonic salamander. And I want these two values here. The strength value, it's in the bottom in where it says bonuses, okay, underneath the bonuses attributes. I want the strength value and I want the health value, okay? These are the important ones. So I want the strength value of 2025.5%. I go back to my window and I put in 2025.5. Do not put a percent sign, just basically hit enter and that will be it automatically input, okay? Don't worry that the other units below that have auto-filled. We can make an adjustment on them as we go along. That's just something that the form does. So the next value I need now is the health bonus on the salamander. If I go back the window, you can see that the health bonus here is plus 1041. So 1041 is what I want. No pluses, no percentages. I go back to my window and I put in just click on the panel, 1041. Nothing else, no percentage signs, it's already there. You don't have to put the point in unless there's a 5 after it. And again, hit enter. Again, you can see the one underneath has auto-filled. Okay, so the next one I want to do now is the Eternal Cannoner. I go back then to my main window. I want to then look at the Eternal Cannoner, pull it up, and again down to the bonuses section, and the strength value 2034.5%. and the health value 1050. I want to go back to the sheet and I'm going to input those figures. So we were 2034.5, enter. I go on to the health value and I fill it in to 1050, again enter. So that's the Eternal Cannoner done. Now I go back and now I want to select the Warden, okay? So the Warden is the next one. Back to the window, back to the Warden, click on that. I have one left, that's good, handy for this. Again, down to the bonuses section. You can see where this is going, it's very straightforward. This is the strength value, 2031.5, and the health value, 1041. Again, I go back to my document. I go to the Warden, make sure you put in these in the right section. Strength value first, that was 2031.5. I'm going to use tab just to go to the next window as opposed to hitting enter. Tab as well will work, but it'll bring me to the next window. And in there, we want the health value as was on the Warden, which is 1041. Again, I'm just going to click tab. And now we're going to go on. So I'm going to go through all of these and fill all of these in regardless of the fact that I'm using them. Well, I will be using them and I need to have them in my mercenaries panel to be able to see what the values are with my hero or captain selected with whichever armor they're using, okay? That is important. If there's a mercenary you're not using, save it until you do use one and then you can fill those values in, okay? So let me just go back to the window. The next one, as I say, I want is the Wyvern. We'll leave the Warden panel and go into Wyvern. Again, scroll to the bottom. Bonuses, the strength bonus and the health bonus are the two I want. Back to the window and I click on Wyvern and I put the strength value in of 2016.5. A tab to go to the next window and 1160 and again tab, okay? So this is basically how simple it is to put these in, okay? It's very straightforward. You can only do it because it is specific to, again, your hero or captain that you're using. These values will be specific to that captain or hero. So let me just go back now again. We're now up to Scarface. So I'm going to go to Scarface. I won't do them all. This will be the last one I'll do, and at least you know then what exactly I've done to input these. The strength value 2045.5, the health value 1171. I go back to my calculator window. I click on the strength value and we're going to put it in 2045.5. As I say, this will be different for you guys. It is regarding pertaining to the captain or hero that you are using. The health value for Scarface was 1171. And again, click tab. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue the rest of this sheet until it's all filled out, and I will join you shortly. Okay, so I've inputted all of the values that I need, the strength and health values of all of the mercenaries that I have and will use in an attack. Okay. Again, don't worry that these columns and rows are not green. It doesn't matter. It's just the way that he set it up because these were the most popular ones to use. Again, these aren't, the color of these will not affect the output, okay? So that is all the mercenaries put in, and that is how you do that. You then scroll to the bottom, and this is where you put in all our silver troop values. Again, you do it in the exact same way and same format as I've shown you on the mercenaries. So we go back to our main screen. We go back again, same scenario. There is still no gear on my hero. I have no second and third captains selected. I have only got my captain with her gear and with her artifact. Okay, now we go on to the troops. And this is quite simply the exact same way. The first ones that you want to do according to the calculator is the specialists. Okay, so you have your melee, mounted, ranged, the vultures, and then the royal lions / Jaegers. Okay, now I know that the Jaeger is already input in here, but it's no harm to put it down below in this section as well because it will pertain to the royal line as well. They both have the same values. Okay, so as I say, these are the next ones we want to do. We want to do the specialist section first, then we would want to do the guardsmen. Okay, so back to our other window. The first one we're looking for is the melee specialists. So we go back to our troop window. We want to go to specialists, and it doesn't matter what level specialists you're on, whether you're 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. The important values are the ones, as I say, down in this bonuses section, and we're looking again for the strength value and the health value. Okay, so these are the melee troops. If you look, actually, so there's the swordsman 5. If I go into swordsman 6, you will see that it's the exact same value, 2045.5 and 1171. If I even go lower and go down to swordsman level 2, they will still have the same values, 2045.5 and 1171. So as you can see, it doesn't matter which troop level you're on. It's coming from the bonuses and gear and artifacts that your captain or hero are using. Okay, so we want those two values, and we're now going to go back to the screen and we're going to input them. So we want strength of 2045.5 and health of 1171. So we go back to our calculator here, we go to our melee specialists. Strength is 2045.5, tab 1171. Again, as you can see, they have auto-filled. Don't worry about that. You will change that as you go in case the value is different. Some of them may be the same, in which case you do not have to fill it in again. So the next one we're going to is the mounted specialist. We come back and we want to look for our mounted specialists. Again, it doesn't matter which level they are, they will all be the same. So the strength value is 2051.5 and the health value is 1171. Again, we go back to our document and we're going to input those. So our mounted specialist is 2051.5, tab to the next section. 1171 is the same as the value above, so we don't have to put that in again. Okay, you see where the autofill has helped us. Next one we're going on to is the range specialist. We go back to our main screen. Any of the range specialists again we want, click on it. Bonuses down the bottom, strength 2054.5 and health is 1180. Okay, so again we go back to our screen and we want to put the range specialists in, 2054.5 and 1180. Okay, simple as that. Again, no percentage signs. You don't have to put a percentage sign in. It will automatically go in yourself. All you need is that value, 1180, nothing else, and hit enter or tab. Okay, so now we want to look at vulture. We're going to go back to our main screen and I'm going to pull up a vulture here, and we want the strength value 2036.5 and health value of 1290. So we go back to our calculator and we're putting in 2036.5 and the health value of 1290. Okay, so you can see where this is going. This is all exactly the same as I've shown you in the mercenary section. I'm going to just continue and fill in the rest of these values and you'll join me shortly. In fact, just to be sure that you have it right, we're now on to the guardsmen section. The melee, the mounted, the ranged, battle griffin / war eagle and Corax. Okay, this is the section I'm filling in now. Same scenario. We go back to our main screen. We want to go to our guardsmen this time. Okay, guardsmen selection, and the first one was the melee units. We scroll down to the bottom. Again, the strength value 2025.5 and the health value 1171. We go back to our sheet. We go to our melee guardsmen section. We fill in 2025.5, tab or enter, and 1171, which also matches the autofill. That doesn't need to be changed. Now we want to look at the mounted guardsmen. Again, back to our window, go to mounted guardsmen, and again strength 2031.5 and health of 1171. Back to our sheet, strength for mounted unit. Just make sure you get these right. Don't make any mistakes and don't put the wrong value in. It will affect the calculation. So we want 2031.5, tab or enter, and 1171 matches the previous autofill. So again, that's fine. And now we go on to the next section. I'll just finish these off and you see what I've done. It's very straightforward. Okay, and that's completed. So I've filled in all of the details in there that is required. Now, just the last thing to look at, if you're wondering, so this bonus versus epic, this value here, bonus versus epic, okay, on row 165. If, for example, your troops had a bonus versus epic, you would see it here in this value. So you see here where it says strength in battle against another player. If it had a bonus against epics, it would say something similar. It would say strength in battle against epic monsters or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it says. If that value has a number here, this is where you would put it in on the sheet, okay? In this value here, strength only, not the health. That's where you would put that bonus, okay? So that is quite simply the way that you set up your troop calculator, okay? We have input all of the values into the mercenaries that we use, okay? Be it T9, 7, 6, 5, okay? After that, the rest of it is very straightforward. The monsters will autofill, okay? They already have values in for their strength and health bonus. They are close enough to what your monster's strength and health bonus would be, but if you really wanted to, you can change these values, but I would honestly suggest you just leave them as they are. They're not going to overly affect, because you want your monsters to always be one of the last units to hit in a stacked army. After that, then you come up and you select your troops. So in my instance, okay, I am going to use specialist. This is for Seasonal Kingdom. I am going to use specialists T6, and you see as soon as I click a box, the checkbox, it automatically autofills with a number here. Okay, that's not the number that's going to be the final number they're going to use, but it's just showing you that it is working. So I want T6 specialists, and I'm going to use all of them because I have melee, mounted, ranged, and flying. So I'll select all 4. I'm then also going to use my guardsman level 6. So I'm going to select my guardsman level 6. Again, I have all 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you've seen they have auto-filled with some numbers. And the last ones I'm going to select then are the guardsmen level 7, because I also have them. And again, I select those 4, and they have also auto-filled. Now, if you scroll down and a little bit to the right, if you're in full window, you will already see this. So don't mind, this is just a scroll across that I can see what my leadership value is. So you can see here that my leadership value shows as 2,955. If I go back to my window now, this is the important value that you want to work out. So again, back to the situation. Again, there's no gear on my hero. All the values have been put into the calculator now, so this won't matter. But I do want to make sure that I have selected the captain I'm going to be using in this battle. I have her same armor on that I've used to calculate all the troops' strength and health, same artifact, all the rest of it. Now all I want to do is select a monster on the map, okay? Select a monster that you know you'll be able to take your dragon with if you're using a dragon. Click on that monster, click attack. Select your dragon along with the captain you're using. If you're using more than one captain, you would select all 3 and then the dragon. This value here, okay, leadership value, this is the value that we want to get as close to but not above on our calculator, okay? So 78,740 is her maximum leadership, all right? So we go back to the calculator window, remembering that number, 78,740. Now what you do is you select the strongest troop. In this case, it's a battle griffin. If I was selecting G8 guardsmen, Corax would be my strongest unit, okay? So in this case, I'm going to select a number for the battle griffin, and all of the numbers above that will auto-populate and increase in numbers, okay? So let's just say I'm going to go with, I know roughly what you can take, so we're going to go with 140, because I know I can roughly take 140 battle griffins to keep me under my leadership number. So as you see, my leadership now has jumped up to 66,163. I know that I have a spare leadership, if I just flick back to the window, of 78,740, so I can go a little more on the amount of troops I can take. So again, go back to the calculator and I can increase this number. Let's go to 145. So let's go just one more. Go 165. Okay, so now I'm at 77,658. I could probably go maybe another 166. No, it's gone above it. Okay. No, in fact, it hasn't. Sorry. So that's perfect. Maybe let's try 167. Okay. We're now at 78,574 leadership value. You can see it there. So that is below the leadership value that I have on my available to my captain. You can see my leadership value available is 78,740. And I have got up to 78,574. So I'm under my leadership that I can take. That's perfect. That's what I want to be. If you went above it, you wouldn't be able to basically take as many troops as it's telling you you can take. All right. So you can see that if I go into battle with the troops that I have selected, I can bring with me 167 battle griffins, 3,778 heavy arbalesters, 1,913 mounted knights, 3,857 heavy halberdiers, whatever way you pronounce it, you know the point. And likewise, that's my tier 7 troops. My tier 6 troops are in improved on that. They are nearly double. And likewise, my specialists up the top here, again, they are more improved. So you can see there all the troop numbers. That's the maximum troops that you can take into battle for the leadership that you can afford using that hero or captain. All right. So you ask, what about monsters? So if we scroll down the list, I can then just basically click the checkboxes for the monsters that I have. Now, in my case, I can take tier 5 monsters, so I'll just select the tier 5s. I have some of them. I also have tier 6 monsters. I can take them too. And I also can take tier 7 monsters because I just opened them today. So if you scroll down a tad more and look at your dominance value, the dominance value here is 18,918. That's bringing this amount of monsters into battle. Now, I don't know about you guys, whether you can afford the dragon coins or not, whether you have enough to be able to do that. What a lot of people will do is they will, well, just to show you something. So take that dominance value into consideration, 18,918. If I go back to the main window and look at my dominance value here is showing me that I can take 18,910. So I'm just a little bit over on the troop calculator sheet, but you can see it is nearly calculated to the exact number. Okay, it's giving me a 18,910 maximum dominance that I can take, and the calculator has worked it out literally to like 0.008. So it's nearly perfect. So if you were to go on those values, you probably would find that you can take all 16 of these, 40, 41, 49, 45. And when it came down to the last one, you selected maybe the fearsome manticore, you might find you can only select 118, not 119, because you will be just over that value. Do you get me? Okay, hopefully you do. So that's how simple it is to select your monsters. As I say, what the majority of people do would be to round up or round down. As I said to you before, if you send 10 monsters into battle, 1 monster will die. That means you keep 9. If I send 20 into battle, 2 monsters would die. It's always 10%. If I send 16 into battle, I will still lose that 10%. So in this case, I will lose not 1.6, I will lose 2. Okay, so in this scenario, given the fact I can't round up because it would leave me over my dominance value, I would round down. So in this case, I would probably bring only 10 of the level 7s. I'd make all of these 40, okay? And I'll make all of these maybe 110 or 100. That's what I would do. I will generally always send a rounded figure because dragon coins are hard to come by in the game, as you probably know at this stage, and sending less monsters won't penalize you. It just means that your monsters will definitely last to be the last things to hit in a full stack that's been sent. Full stack meaning lots of different troops basically layered. Okay, so the very last thing we need to do now, we have our monsters, we know we have our troops up above, we know how many we can take, we know how many monsters we can take. Now we just need to select our mercenaries. And as I said to you, the values I've put in here are all to do with the top mercenaries in the game. If it was a case you had tier 7 mercenaries, tier 6 mercenaries, tier 5 mercenaries, then those values are the ones you would fill in, the strength and the health values, and they're the ones that you would select. In my case, I'm on the top tier, so as you can see, I'm going to select Demonic Salamander. It tells me I can bring 11 units. Eternal Cannoner, I can bring 10 units. Warden, select, I can bring 9 units. Wyvern, select, I can bring 5 units, and so on and so forth. As I select all of these, you can see the numbers populating on the right hand side. Okay, these are all the values I've put in. If, for example, I selected one that I hadn't filled the values in for, it will give me a number, but that number will be wrong and way wrong because these were not filled in. Okay, so deselect them. And finally, the superior epic monster hunters. So that has now given me a total authority of 3,854. Again, don't worry about that authority number. It really won't matter. These are the numbers of mercenaries that you can take that will give them repeated hits, and they will not die straight away in the first attack. I hope that has all made sense. I think that's been as straightforward and simple as I can to explain it all. It is all there. If you have had any problems with this sheet working, please ask me for the sheet again. I will share you the new version. It's not a new version, it's the original version. But if you put a figure in wrong, or you put a percentage sign in and you make a mess, there isn't a way to just, let's say, Control-Alt-Z to undo what you did. You have to start again, take the sheet again, make a new copy, and go from there. Anybody who has purchased this, all you need to do is go back into your email, select or go back into your purchase, and you can make a copy again. You can open that sheet up again that I have shared with you. You can make a copy again. As I say, save it as something that you will remember. If you were using your hero, call it Ulrich or Haman or whatever it is, put the level in so you remember what level it was when you did all your calculations, and save it. Okay, you've saved it to your Google Drive. That's it. You always have it there. If you download and save another sheet and you call it a different name, again, it will be saved. It will be saved with the values that you have saved here. Okay, guys, I hope that has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I look forward to welcoming you on future streams on the channel. Keep an eye out for that. Please join the Discord server. I'll leave a link in the video below. And that has been a crash course on Jedi Tuco's troop calculator for epic attacks. Thanks for watching. Kerf, peace out.